By the end of this episode, you are going to be very knowledgeable on the benefits of beef liver and of oysters for hormone healing, HA recovery, postpartum, conception, pregnancy, all the things. You're going to really understand why we're so outspoken, so dedicated, and of course, why we're brand owners. Our company is Jewel Wellness, but why we are so passionate about organ meat and oyster supplementation as an option, both for men and women. So yeah, by the end of this episode, you'll be an expert. All of your answers should, all of your questions should be answered. But if you do have more, just post them below. Enjoy.
So this is what's really important. So like it comes to us frozen, we sanitize it, that is important. So someone was a little upset about that, but I was like, I'm not upset.
Then you have to just go get fresh oysters.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is a great idea.
Yeah, yes. We're not against fresh oysters.
We are always promoting food first.
Food first.
And when you need convenience, that's where the capsule comes in. And I think we have a lot of expectations on processed foods. People get very angry of like, why is this in this? Where yes, some of those processed foods, there are some things that are added that are unnecessary. Mm-hmm. But we need to lower our expectations on anything that is not whole food.
Well, I think we just need to pause and be like, if you want convenience, there is compromise.
Yes.
Nature's multivitamin is never going to match the insanity of the modern world, because we probably shouldn't be living the way that we're living.
Yes.
On multiple areas, meaning that like if you need a multivitamin to replace completely eating well, we have bigger issues to talk about. And that's so intense expectation of a whole food product. Mm-hmm. No one ever goes to oranges and be like, oh, why don't you give me everything I need in life?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we expect.
Like, stop! What are you talking about? You know what I mean? No one goes to celery and be like, oh, you can't do it all. But this is what makes organ meat actually really unique, is that it gets really close.
Mm-hmm. It gets really close. It's great. It's a lot of time.
Between that and the sourdough discard, like, it's just more attention than my actual plants.
This is why I'm saying that we have, as a society, for a reason, banded together to stop having to homestead all of our own shit.
Yes.
And we created stores and bartering, and it's like, oh, look, Ashley has a goat. I'll go to her for milk.
Look here, I'm thankful for my friends that are doing it.
Microgreens garden.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Goat milk from microgreens. That's why we do it the way we do it.
We should bring that back.
So when someone comes and says, hey, I have the world's most nutrient-dense food for you in a capsule, you're gonna trade your goat.
Mm-hmm. Your goat.
They will.
They're good. And I want to be wrong on that.
Yeah, no, same here. But
Look here. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just saying that if I'm going to sit here and try to find a cleaner multivitamin.
Well, here's the thing. So last time I went home to Australia, and my parents live on the coast, and my dad got some oysters, and I was stoked, and we both got sick.
Yeah.
We both got food poisoning.
Did you really? From the oysters?
You don't remember this?
Well, I remember you being sick.
You flew home earlier.
That was the trip I flew home early.
Yeah.
I think it is easy for them to get some kind of contamination.
Yeah, and it is common for people to get sick off of them.
We're so used to, as a society now, capsulating and conveniencing things. But as a species, a human species, we've actually been processing and finding ways for highly perishable foods to survive. We've been doing this for ages with pickling and
salt.
Yes, with many salts, and with finding natural ways to dry things. We've been doing jerky. We've been doing jerky in some form for a very long time. Pickling, drying, and so this is just another evolution of how we have, and that's how our species have actually continue to thrive, is because we find these ways to make more out of our food sources, that we're actually supposed to do that. So this actually feels like a really natural option.
The amount of muscle meat and the amount of greens that you would have to eat compared to liver is just astronomical in order to meet the same nutrients. And so one of these examples is actually choline, which is really important for fertility, right? Huge need, especially for women. And in 3.5 ounces of liver, you would have to eat 2 to 10 times more muscle meat to just even reach what beef liver has in like 3.5 ounces.
Wait, so because we're fertility practitioners, right? So one of the first concerns or questions we get from fertility clients is like, what do you think about my supplements? And I know you want me to take beef liver, but how, is that okay for me? Because we are conditioned and trained to be like, no, I need this to be like a prescribed thing because it's in a capsule. Y'all, would you feel the same way if you were buying liver and cutting it into squares and cooking it into your lasagna? No. This is just open them up and sprinkle into your lasagna if you don't want to eat it as a capsule. It is just food.
I just want to quote something that Dr. Keneally said. Okay. I think it's just so brilliant, of where she goes, much of modern medicine and wellness is built on the idea of mimicking nature, isolating a compound, altering it, and selling it back as premium. The problem is, once you're changing nature's blueprint, the effect in the body changes too. So just think about that when you're buying your $70, $80 wellness supplement that is made by man.
Yeah. When you eat liver, you're already eating it in a bioavailable, right now, today form of folate, rather than having to go through a process, you know what I mean, to then do that. It's already available.
I just imagine us on Shark Tank, and then they're going by, like, us going through line by line of our product, and they're just like, you spend $3 on a glass bottle, and this is your margin? Are you crazy? And it's just like, but
I think our bottles are way more than that.
Yeah, I don't know what off the top of my head.
Okay.
But they are very much eating into our margin, but this is something that is actually really, really important to us. And like, we wouldn't be creating a product that we wouldn't take at the end of the day.
There is not a dangerous amount of naturally occurring vitamin A in beef liver that would put you into toxicity.
The amount you would need to eat is wild.
I actually have that.
You might make yourself sick consuming that before your body would even allow it to happen.
Okay, so there was a case. In Real Food for Fertility, I'm telling y'all,
shout out Lily Nichols.
Love her. I love her for so many reasons, but she really takes all this information and puts it in digestible, common people understanding terms, and then has all the references known to mankind. So, but like, she brought up this case that there was a specific woman who did develop vitamin A toxicity through synthetic vitamin A, but only after taking 400,000 IUs of synthetic vitamin A. How much beef liver do you think that is every single day that someone would have to eat? How much beef liver?
Like a whole liver every day?
3.5 pounds.
3
pounds of liver for 8 years. Every single day.
For 8 years.
That's what you would have to do to match what she was doing synthetically.
Our oysters are birthed and grown in New Zealand. They're farmed in pure waters, and then they are picked up and exported to the US, which they're frozen.
Yeah,
because they're traveling quite a ways. And then they're processed in the US before they leave New Zealand, and before they leave the processing factory in the US, they're tested in both places.
I actually had a question. Someone messaged me. So if you ever email us, it's me that you get. Are your oysters cooked or are they raw? And I was like, great question. I know they come frozen, but basically there's a heating process. They are not cooked, but they are steamed to kill bacteria. They're steamed at a temperature of 95 degrees Celsius for exactly 2 hours, and then they're cooled, right? So after that, then the oyster is in blasted frozen. Then this is where the freeze drying cycle starts. It is actually freeze dried at the lowest temperature. It is then milled into a fine powder. So, maybe I should say, okay, fine. If you're like not down with the organ meats, I at least need you to be okay with some type of prenatal that has folate in it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
not folic
methylated-
acid.
not folic acid.
Yes.
That's at least what I need.
And so Jewel, the beef liver capsules, peoples, a serving of beef liver from our capsules has 6 micrograms of natural folate, whereas a typical multivitamin has 400 micrograms of synthetic folic acid.
It's just not a good look for them. Okay, moving on to testing. So we actually do a lot of testing. Heavy metals, arsenic, cadmium, lead, mercury, especially because like we're dealing with oysters, you know, it's coming from the ocean. We're testing for salmonella, E. coli, you know, yeast, mold. Because it's a whole foods, it needs to be tested. And so that's everything that's also that like we test when it comes to oyster.
We test the product. It has a longer shelf life, obviously, right?
3 years,
3
actually.
years. But we double check by sending product back to the lab to get it. Basically, they accelerate the aging process for us to learn, A, how much more time it has, but also they'll test it to see, you know, has it started to have moisture in the bottle and in the capsules.
Yeah, and
to make sure it's still good.
Yeah. In fact, that there is nothing that can compare to beef liver and oyster. Like there is no natural whole food source that is as nutrient dense as that. Even meat alone, like muscle meat alone, it's just not the same nutrient profile.
Yes, and because we've become so modernized, which is a blessing, but we forget ancestrally that like we used to eat the whole animal. So we are missing certain nutrients, specific like amino acids, because we are only eating muscle meat. We're no longer eating meat on the bone.
Like, or think about like tongue.
Yeah, we're not eating all parts of the animal.
Put that in a crock pot.
Randomly, we're eating the least possible nutritious meats. Right. And then the leaner the cut gets, the less it's doing for you.
That is true.
But we're in a society that's like lean protein only.
Yeah.
Right? Like as fertility practitioners, what's the number one issue around animal protein that we see women consuming?
They're eating only tuna.
Only tuna, only chicken
Dry
breast.
tuna.
No.
Only
dry
tilapia.
tuna.
Pounding cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese everywhere.
Yogurt only. Look here, we love yogurt. 0% yogurt.
Yeah.
If you were to just be like, okay, so basically I'm just going to just take folate, stop, pump the brakes, back to our quote, you actually still need all the other nutrients in order to metabolize and utilize it. So this is where just isolating specific things, thinking that we're going to outsmart nature.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? You talk about this a lot, Ashley, about where people think that they can isolate a certain muscle group, like lose weight here.
Lose weight in my right calf only.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you still need the other nutrients to support folate metabolism and methylation. And that's where this is why whole food supplementation matters, not just...
And that's why we're here, because oysters and liver create the most diverse all-in-one you can get.
Yes.
Right? And we're not saying it's perfect. Like you still need everything else. You can't just be liver king.
How did that end?
Yeah, we know how that turned out.
Yeah. I mean, we're not here to talk about anybody, but I'm just saying, how did it go?
Yeah, bless him.
You know what? My question to everybody is, how's that working for you?
Yeah.
Another
That's
podcast.
For another
day. Okay, so...
But I love that we do the low temp freeze dry, because that preserves the highest amount of minerals.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what? I'm glad that you talked about that, because basically they're saying that is ensuring that all anti-inflammatory properties are preserved. This is why it's done at a low temperature.
Minerals and vitamins are protagonistic and antagonistic of one another. They are synergistic of one another. If you have too much of one, it will cause an imbalance elsewhere. Not enough of one, it will cause an imbalance somewhere else. It is crazy town. And the idea that, it is just impossible, in my personal opinion, to manufacture the effects of real food by taking synthetic supplementation and lab-made supplementation. So a multivitamin has in everything except for potassium, phosphorus, and magnesium, and calcium. It has over 100% of your daily requirement in all of them, which is a lot. for everything in one pill at one time, and half of y'all be taking it in the morning without food. Side note. But that's going to make it tough. Whereas liver is in like typically below 20% of your daily need for any of these things. There's a few things that are 50, there's like one that's 50%. B12 is over 1,000%, but I'm not mad about that. And vitamin A is 120.
Which is why like you really shouldn't be like randomly dosing.
Yeah, there are definitely times when you need a therapeutic dose of something.
Absolutely.
And guess what? Like vast majority of people will never get that testing and never find out. And the average person just needs to get their foundations in check.
Like you actually just need a cleaner Nature's multivitamin.
You should be eating more diverse. And that's hard to do.
Yeah.
And and that's why we're here. Because oysters and liver create the most diverse all-in-one you can get.
Yes.
So folate is important because about 60% of the population has that gene mutation, the MTHRF.
Yes.
I always think that's mother. Like, why can't
I know. It looks like they're trying to say...
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, can we just say
Looks
it?
like they're trying to say what we're all thinking.
Which means that any supplement that has folic acid or any fortified food, your body then has to go through this extra step to then metabolize it and then utilize it, right?
Yeah,
and this gene mutation either makes you unable to or highly less effective. So I think it's sure for the other 40% of the population that can do that, that's fine. You know what I mean? I know I personally have that gene mutation, so like I don't rely on fortified cereal to get the job done or
Not
other.
that there's anything wrong.
No, hey, look here. I can put down a bowl of cereal.
Okay, you could have that gene mutation, but the population of women who we work with are in undernourished states. Their bodies are already struggling to do those conversion processes.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's just the population of women we work with, because we know that there are so many women who are on the spectrum of low energy availability, and who the demands that they're putting on their body are higher than the energy that's coming in and is available. So their bodies are already struggling. Why are you going to put something in there that is synthetic that your body doesn't recognize? And it's like, oh, let me figure this out.
It is a process. But you know what is new by the time is that we have switched our caps to ensure longer, so like no moisture
Gets in.
Right. So just for example, like if like you keep your beautiful Jewel Wellness bottle in the bathroom on your countertop, you know what I mean? Like we have actually purposely switched the cap to be able to withstand just moisture.
Yes. So it goes back to the things that sometimes you have to sacrifice when you're going through the processing process. And so we really wanted to keep everything, like no plastic. We wanted all glass, no way of any sort of like contaminants. That was one thing we had to sacrifice on, is like there's the potential of moisture getting in with this lid. It is not a properly sealing lid, and therefore we will need to go to plastic. So what is the great, like, what are you saying yes to, and what are you saying no to, and what can you accept at the end of the day?
Safety, like I really believe in the way that we do this, because there's not a way to check everybody's box, but this is pretty damn close.
It is.
Like
we don't add anything in. The capsule is gelatin, so it really is just oyster in a capsule. So it really, if you are whole food first, I argue it is whole food, just in a capsule.
For sure it is.
A multi has a much higher potential to overload and stress your body out.
More than liver's ever going to.
And it seems that
Or
everyone's
oyster.
getting their head around this now. People say it all the time, right? I just pee it out. You're just peeing it out. You're doing, you're not getting anywhere
But
with it.
for some reason, vitamin A is going to stay in.
Well, so with the beef liver, you're not going to just be peeing it out, because it's
a whole food.
It's a whole food that's being ingested correctly with the correct ratios.
Yeah.
But if you chuck in a synthetic, multi that's been lab made, there people have been like, let's just put a lot of everything in. Let's throw everything at the wall so that you get everything you need. Well, actually, you're just stressing the body, wasting your money, and it's just coming out the other end of you. So we have a practitioner guide that we created, which you guys can access somewhere. But
There'll be a link.
we'll
We'll figure it out.
It'll be on the website.
That's evolving.
But it shows you, right, like the difference between, let's just talk a typical multivitamin and beef liver. Okay, and so everything, long story short, most minerals, except for a few, are much higher by 1 metric shit ton in a multivitamin versus liver. Liver is higher in vitamin A, but everything else, it's really high. And so people are very concerned about like over consuming on things like organ meat, but more than happy to chuck a multi in their mouth. When it's like, look at the difference.
Yeah.
And so this leads us to that bioavailability piece. Minerals and vitamins are protagonistic and antagonistic of one another. They are synergistic of one another. If you have too much of one, it will cause an imbalance elsewhere. Not enough of one, it will cause an imbalance somewhere else. It is crazy town. And the idea that, like, it is just impossible, in my personal opinion, to manufacture the effects of real food by taking synthetic supplementation and lab-made supplementation.
From now on, like, a lot of men are getting on TRT.
Yeah.
So I mean, again, this kind of goes back to, like, is it because, like, I'm about to start approaching 40, so now all my friends' husbands are finally, you know what I mean? Or, like, has it finally caught up with them? Just all these things. And I'm just like, now you care about your sperm quality. Now you care about your testosterone levels. Now you care, right? And it's like, you're going to need some beef liver. Look here, we're going to be handing this out for Christmas. Everyone's stocking stuffer. What are your capsules made out of?
Pigs.
Gelatin and purified water. That is actually all it is gelatin and purified water.
That gelatin comes from pigs.
No. Gelatin comes from bones and collagen.
What is it?
Pork skins, pork and cattle bones, and split cattle hides. Gelatin is also made from fish byproducts.
And the reason why, you know, whether this is beef liver or other organ meats, we're a proponent of all organ meats. We just haven't bottled up heart and kidney yet. You know what I mean? Not saying that we won't.
Liver, a bit more minerally diverse, right? Because going back to the fact that it's a filter, it catches everything.
It's a filter.
So
it's
we
not a
started with
warehouse.
Oh, that's good, because people get weird about that. They're like,
it would be dumb on the body to hold and hoard.
Yeah.
It is.
You're supposed to be excreting.
It's excreting.
Oh my gosh. Vitamin A in beef liver in its preformed retinol form, first of all. Which is not where the toxicity issue is, like, coming into play.
Yeah, I have a whole thing on that.
We're going to get there.
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
The horses are biting at the reins.
So you might be like, oh my gosh, 120, you know, we'll get clients who are like, I saw this and I'm afraid, especially because I'm pregnant or whatever. It's a lot. But this is in the liver, okay? Bioavailability.
Yes.
Appropriate ratios. This means that there are amounts of each of these minerals that are working together appropriately, right? If we have 120% of our needs of vitamin A, the other ratios of the minerals in here are helping it all to work together to be appropriate. Just because something is 120% of what you need doesn't mean that you're going to now be overloaded with those things.
Well, and to your point, kind of jumping ahead, you actually need specific fat soluble vitamins to utilize vitamin A and, like, metabolize it. And so it's like you actually just can't be throwing in certain things without their cofactors. Like, you cannot.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just put some facts out there. Liver is the richest in vitamin A.
Yes.
Fact. Absolutely. It is a fact. It's an absolute fact. It is interesting that we are told to avoid liver for fear of vitamin A toxicity when this actually applies to supplementation of synthetic vitamin A
and medication,
not naturally occurring food sources. So yes, liver is the highest in vitamin A. Yes, we do need to be mindful of supplementing with synthetic vitamin A in pregnancy or just in general. However, like, again, this is how nature wins every single time. In liver, there is adequate amount of vitamin D and K, which is highly important when consuming vitamin A. And thankfully, nature decided, I don't trust you to do this on your own.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it. It's almost like it was designed this way.
Mm-hmm.
That these vitamins would coexist together to support each other. And again, going back to just supplementing vitamin A or mega doses of vitamin A without the support of vitamin D and K is just obnoxious.
That's
in
where the
general.
problem.
But then again, like, we're not even talking about the same thing. One is naturally occurring,
Mm-hmm.
and one is being synthetically done.
Mm-hmm.
And there is not a dangerous amount of naturally occurring vitamin A in beef liver that would put you into toxicity.
The amount you would need to eat is wild.
Yeah, that's...
So then, like, when people say, oh, vitamin A toxicity, I'm like, oh,
It's an
I'm
exaggeration.
sorry, are you eating 3 pounds of beef liver?
For 8 years.
Yes.
Every
Vitamin-
single day for 8 years? I don't even think I could. No one eats the same thing every single day in that
So-
quantity.
Because oysters are highly perishable. Like, and
Yeah.
they can actually be kind of sketch. Yeah,
But like I don't know if we're doing leftover oysters.
we're not. And
That's
so
what I'm
it's
saying.
it actually makes sense that we would find a way
Yeah.
to do this
Yeah.
because of how many of us don't live by the sea. We're, as we speak, in the middle of Texas.
Yeah, and I don't want Texas oysters. I feel like that's what people want to know.
Brandon, did you learn something yet?
Yeah, I'm gonna need one of those capsules.
And I don't think a lot of people understand what goes into having a supplement brand or the choices that you have to make. Like, as a consumer, you just kind of like just don't think of these things when you pick it up off the shelf. So when we were ordering beef liver and oyster, like one of the questions is, do you want any preservatives or additives added into it to preserve shelf life? Now, as a business owner, generally that answer is yes, because if we don't sell it all, then that means we like lose money. But for us, it was more important for us to give everybody a product that we're like, no, this is 100% whole foods, no fillers, no preservatives, no additives. Even though that would be beneficial to us, we really did put the customer first. And so in all of our orders, we don't have any of that, which means that what is in our capsules is exactly what we say it is. And I think that's important.
Why are amber glass jars so much better than plastic jars or any other kind of glass jar?
Well, number one, it's not leaching BPA.
Hello.
Big, especially we're in the fertility space, so that's really important to us, and especially in to our audience as well too. So also it helps preserve the nutrients. The sunlight isn't getting in, the UVs aren't getting in, and it helps preserve nutrients over a long period of time. What else am I missing?
Yeah, I mean, let's just have as few things as possible in plastic, because all day, every day, everything else comes in it. Your meat comes in plastic.
That is true.
Your anything in a package comes in plastic. It's tough. So if this is something you're going to consume every day, which we will get to, if you're going to consume it every day, it should be.
It should
Probably out of a plastic and into a glass jar. And then having it, muscle meat's not as good as organ meat. Why? What is it about liver that makes it so mineral dense compared to a sirloin?
But wait, did you know that like when, is it orcas or sharks? When they kill something, they go straight for the liver first.
This makes sense. It is.
Do we know
It
that
is-
to be fact?
It is the. I mean, we're not claiming to be biologists.
I'm not.
biologist.
I'm not a marine biologist.
But-
But
The liver's job is to process toxins and high dose minerals and all of these things from the body, and it's a filter. Thus, it catches a lot of the excess, and it's stored in your liver. So, of course, it can be toxic for your liver to deal with, too much of a specific thing. But its job is to filter excess high levels of minerals are stored in the liver, and that's making it extraordinarily mineral dense. Oysters are birthed and grown in New Zealand. So
Yeah.
we choose New Zealand because they have the cleanest, purest waters in the world. On the south end of like New Zealand and Australia, surprisingly close to Antarctica.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on. Ours are farmed.
Yeah. I actually can't get the image out of the oil spills in Texas.
There's not a lot of oil spills between New Zealand and Antarctica.
But it makes me think of like, okay, this is gonna sound really stupid, but what was that body of water that Trump tried to like rename?
The Gulf of Mexico.
Yes, the Gulf of Mexico.
I thought he did rename it.
He did rename it.
I think, okay, the Gulf of America or Gulf of Mexico, however which way we want to put this. But there's so many oil spills out there.
Yes.
I don't know if we're eating oysters from that area.
But that's because what goes back to what Danny said, because it's southern hemisphere and it's so like widespread, there's less traffic in that area. Yes, there's importing and exporting happening, but there's so much more happening through America, Mexico.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't eat oysters, but I probably would pass on it. I don't know.
Oh, like eating them out.
Or eating them from here.
Or
That's
eating
what I'm
them here.
saying.
That's why,
we be doing savage things.
A lot of brands will choose American made as a selling point, which makes sense because Americans love America. I love that for you guys.
I mean, like, we should. I mean,
you should.
And it was, to be honest, it was a discussion when we first acquired Jewel.
We did.
We were like, why is this made in New Zealand? And because the tariffs were in question as well too, like, does this impact our bottom line? Would it be better would our customer appreciate it being from the U.S.?
Mm-hmm.
And how does that impact our bottom line? And then when we went in and did the research, what we found out was like, oh my gosh, no.
It's not. Whoa. While it's not on our nutritional label, we do have the breakdown of all the nutrients that is in oyster. Iron, magnesium, copper, zinc. We will eventually get there to put it on like the label. But I thought that it might be interesting on why it's not there now.
Yeah.
Because that does make sense. I think whenever you look at a multivitamin and you're able to look at all these things and you're able to compare, it's easier to compare. You're able to see, oh, this much zinc. And then like you look at ours and it's just like...
yes, it looks a little underwhelming.
It looks very underwhelming.
Let us explain to you why this is actually awesome.
But because I have a 2-page PDF that I cannot put on a label, I have a 2-page PDF right here of everything that's in it. Everything from protein, carbs, and fat, because it is a food, not just a supplement. And when it comes to zinc, when it comes to vitamin B6, B12, biotin, choline, and all the amino acids, which I think is interesting because you're not going to get that from a multivitamin either. But because this is a whole food product, we can't guarantee that this is what it is in every single thing because it is not synthetically made.
And just so everyone knows, all products that have nutritional information, there's actually a 20%
give or take.
20% give or take on either side. So
nothing's ever exact.
And then whole food, like how do you know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's not a nutrition label on a steak. Like when you go and you buy a steak, or if you bought liver in the store, 9 times out of 10, there's not a nutrition label on that.
Every capsule has 600 milligrams of oyster meat, solely oyster meat, no preservatives, no additives, and it is in a gelatin capsule that basically is then put in an amber glass bottle. And now with our new lids, our plastic lids, that keep the moisture out. So really and truly, I don't think that you could get any more whole food that then marries convenience for optimal nutrition. And you can't get a cleaner option other than sourcing your own oysters frozen from New Zealand to then come over and then you eat
Exactly.
If this was helpful and you are sold on beef liver and or oyster for your journey or even your significant other's journey, go to jewelwellness.com and use the code HA Society to get a discount. Enjoy.